And as we prepare to tune in, just take a moment with the hands at the chest, closing the eyes, focusing at the brow point, just tuning into the victories of 2018. So let's just take a few breaths with that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the victories of 2018. Exhale. Let's inhale to begin with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Take a deep inhale. Hold the breath for a moment, projecting into the brow point. Exhale. Before we start, just to set ourselves, I'd like to start with a very simple meditation for rebuilding yourself. Okay, so this is really about renewing yourself and your system. And I will post it on the Facebook, on my Facebook page after. So any materials that we go through in this class, you can go to my Facebook page and download them from there. So this is about, excuse me. Sorry, I've got some dinging going on my computer. So rebuilding yourself, we're going to put the left hand right about the throat chakra. It's a lot of work with the throat chakra today. We're going to put the right hand just above a few inches. And what we're going to do is fill the lungs with a direct breath through the mouth. So we're going to kind of create this O-shaped mouth. And then we're going to exhale out of the nostrils. So we're inhaling through the mouth. And exhale very gently out the nostrils. But as you finish the exhale, you want to really squeeze the diaphragm, kind of create this Uddiyana Bandha, which is the squeezing of the diaphragm so that you exhale all of the air out. So there's a deep, deep inhale, and then there's a deep, deep exhale. So let's begin, and we'll just go for a few minutes here and rebuild the system. And you can find out more about this meditation when I post it. Left hand on the bottom, right hand on top. And let's begin. Inhale through the O mouth. The eyes are focused at the brow point. Inhale. Exhale, nostrils. Cave in the diaphragm and really suck it out. That means suck it in and inhale. Close the mouth, exhale nose. Very sweetly and gently. Squeezing all the air out of the diaphragm, create a Uddiyana band, which means kind of a caving in of the diaphragm. And inhale, mouth. Keep going. Challenge yourself to keep the arms absolutely parallel to the ground, and you are about the throat chakra. And really just stay focused at the brow point. Keep going. Keep going. Stay with it. Stay focused. Challenge yourself. Just a couple more minutes. Last couple of cycles. Last one. Hold the position very still. Let's inhale. Hold the breath and squeeze the spine. Be very deliberate about this. Squeeze the spine. Exhale. Again, inhale. Hold the breath and squeeze the elbows now. Feel the squeeze in the elbows. Exhale. Inhale. And now neck lock. So you're pushing the chin back slightly so that it creates a straight line at the back of the neck, and really squeeze the muscles of the neck on the side. Hold. Feel like the muscles on the side of the neck are like steel. And exhale. And just relax for a moment. Eyes closed. Just feeling into the completion of 2018. Very intense year for many of us. And just feeling like we're kind of wrapping it up in a bow, whatever it was, whatever happened, like we are calling it complete. We're making peace with it. We're making peace with ourselves, with what we accomplished, what we didn't accomplish, where we fell short, where we succeeded, just calling it complete. Staying focused at your third eye. So you're really sort of in this conversation with your soul, with the soul part of yourself, like just this absolute agreement to not carry anything into this next year that has not been serving you. Good. And deep inhale. Exhale. Great. Okay, my dears. So let's talk a little bit about 2019. 2018. Let's just really wrap that up in a bow. It was extremely intense. It was really about graduating to this new place within ourselves, and I think as yogis and as people dedicated to self-growth and on the spiritual path, we're constantly engaging in the work, in some kind of work that really can. It's a lot about facing ourselves, because we understand that it's never about what's going on out there. It's always about the inner relationship with the soul, right? And so when we can, through the work of daily practice and sadhana and the different mediums that we use to connect to self, when we can stop the negative self-talk, right, we can really hear clearly our intuition, especially as women. That's like our guiding system, is our intuition. So 2018, I think, was so much about just really graduating and facing some very difficult things within ourselves, within our structures, in the world, socially. Everything kind of got, magnified and brought out into the light. There was a lot of truth, which is really about, and the prophecy of the Aquarian age, where all things will be revealed in the light. So very much about looking at, what's not been working for us, and sort of like finding ways to move beyond that. And as a yogi and as people on the spiritual path, which means really establishing the vertical connection, they call it in the Hawaiian healing tradition. So we're not just living horizontally in this reality, but we're fueled by the vertical connection. We're fueled by our own infinity, you know, that which creates us, that which gives us breath. Some of us call it God, some of us call it the universe, a higher power. It doesn't matter. It's all one. It's all the same thing. But it is about us being in this human body and also having a soul experience. We're half human, half soul. How do we live on this plane and balance that, right? So now 2019, as we're moving into it, it's such a new frequency. It's such a new vibration. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling it. Like as it's approaching, I've been feeling it for the past week, excuse me. And it feels very much about joy, about lightheartedness, about fun. And it's exactly what the number 3 is about. So 2019, right, is coming to the number 3, according to the numerology in this tradition in Kundalini Yoga and many other numerology sciences. And so the theme for this year is really about our creativity. It's about our creative intelligence and shifting into a new dimension of expansion and awareness. So how do we create basically a new dialogue within ourselves? Because especially as women, you know, we understand that so as our inner landscape, so as is our outer landscape. Inner reality matches outer reality. So if there's anything we want to change in the outside, we really need to change within ourselves. So, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm, you know, a little phlegmy and all that. Forgive me. So 2019, we're sparking this creative intelligence and this new way of relating to self and really seeing our power, connecting to this innate power that is within us and seeing how we can create in the world, in this outer reality, right? So the overall sort of theme for number 3, it embodies happiness, creativity, new connections, and a real, like, I can do this spirit. You know, if I don't see a way through it, if I don't see a way through this, I will create one. So it's very much about the positive mind, right? So in Kundalini Yoga, we are looking at the mind as 3 separate entities. We've got the neutral mind, which is also known as a meditative mind. We've got the positive mind. We've got the negative mind. We need a balance of all 3 to really function well. But as a woman, the key to getting off the roller coaster of emotions is to develop a relationship to the neutral mind, right? So I'm kind of weaving in the woman's teachings into this because it's very relevant to what we're going into. So this is about establishing, you know, 2018 prepared us for this. It prepared us for this new expansion. So wherever you're at with yourself, let's make peace with that. Because I know personally that, you know, the easiest, most loving way is to, the easiest way to create what one wants to create in the outer reality is to really bring the love to all the shadows and the darkness within us, is to bring the light to that, which was what Solstice was about. We went deep into the darkness. I know that I sure did. And I got faced with a slew of things that I needed to resolve within myself. And then we brought light to it and we brought love to it. And then we start to see that this self-critical voice that all of us deal with quietens because the love cuts through and penetrates through that. So this is so perfect as we move into 2019, right? Much more lighthearted. It's about fun. It's about freedom. It's about opening up to this new creative way and sort of energy that we want to birth, right? So if you're, let's say, writing a book, or you're into creative writing, or you're working on music, or you're working on a curriculum, or you're opening a studio, whatever you're doing, or you're just like wanting to birth a child and create a conscious family, which is a huge job, in and of itself. Like, that's where it's at. It's all about creativity and really sharing it. So this is the year for that, and about bringing a lot of fun to that. Okay. So it's very much connected. Creativity is very much connected to expression. And so when I've been meditating on this for the last few days, it was really clear to me, the meditation that I wanted to share with you, which is all about the throat chakra, and going into the new year with this energy of working on the throat chakra. And there's some very interesting information from the Kundalini tradition, which is related to women. And men, if you're listening to this, please pass this on to your woman, because this is highly important for us. So in Kundalini Yoga, we look at the energetic system as 8 chakras, right? These are the energy systems of the body. And Yogi Bhajan talked about the throat chakra being the most important chakra for the woman to work on. And in all other spiritual traditions, you'll find that they talk about the Ajna chakra, which is the pituitary, right? Which is about intuition, which is about seeing beyond this world, which is about inner guidance, right? But he says that the throat chakra is the most important chakra for women, because she absolutely creates her reality with her words. And we live in a culture where we are quite loose with our words. We've got this kind of like sarcastic, maybe funny way of relating to each other, of speaking, sometimes narcissistically, about ourselves. So finding a way to really curb that and start to speak in an uplifting way. My mother-in-law, who I adore, and I'm teaching this to my daughter. One of the rules in our house is that we don't gossip. We don't talk about anybody. And like, I learned that a long time ago in the leadership training I did, but she puts it this way: if you don't have something nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. And that's just a rule that we should have in our life, because women love to chat. They chat, and and it goes on. And sometimes it can spiral downwards, and sometimes it can spiral upwards. What we want to make sure is that as women, when we speak, we always speak to uplift. We always use our grace to speak. And yes, we'll fall short, and I for sure fall short in that department. But the awareness, it's a practice. So we practice it, we fall short, we get back on the horse, we begin again, right? So the throat chakra is the point of focus for the next 40 days. And I want to gift you this meditation, very simple meditation. It can be overlooked, right? Because it is so simple. But he talks very highly about this meditation. And we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. So developing the relationship to the throat chakra, really focusing on our words and the way we create, because we're becoming master creators. We are master creators. We created this reality. So how do we now really get our head around that and mold and create the kind of reality that we want to experience? Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about 2019, because I'm just so excited about it. So here are like the buzzwords for 2019, which you can write down and, do more research and listen to astrologers. I'm not an astrologer. I really just did research and pulled together what inspired me. And also Namhari, who does numerology in Kundalini Yoga, gave me a little blurb on this. So it's about doing it your way. It's about being true to yourself, right? This is all throat chakra, right? Because we create our life through us speaking, especially as women. To be true to ourselves is the essence of creativity, and really being authentically creative, developing your individuality, which is all about your authenticity, right? So being your authentic self rather than this image that's been projected onto women for so many years. Really like finding out and discovering what is your authentic self and letting that come through, letting that shine, because that's really the place where we connect soul to soul with one another and with ourselves, right? It's also about new beginnings. So this is a great time in the next day or two to do a vision board. I love vision boards. We're going to get into that today in my house tonight. Kind of made a plan to just sit down and create something together. It's also about career, okay? Because career, if we're that way inspired, it can be very fulfilling. You know, I know that I love being a mother, I love being a musician, but doing my woman's work and Shakti school and the work that I do with women is such an important part of my life. It's an important part of my healing. So it's like I find a way to balance those, you know. So we find a way as householders, as mothers, as partners, or as even as single women, we find a way to balance taking care of ourselves, you know, being in community, resting, and also feeding our careers and feeding what we love to do, that which feeds us. Leadership, right? It's a very important year for leadership, and leadership is a lot about being your authentic self and being in your power, which for us as women begins in the third chakra and that connection to navel intelligence. And we dig into a lot of this material at Shakti School, which begins on January 4th. Wow, just in like 5 days. And you can do that online or in Topanga, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. So this is really back to the creativity piece. We're opening up the third chakra, the fifth chakra. We're opening to the energy of truth, complete honesty, doing things our way, speaking our truth, and we're not settling. We're not settling for what doesn't feel in alignment. It's okay to say no. It's actually important to say no. And also what happens when you say a loving no to something, whether it's a project, it's a request, it's an invitation, people respect you. Wow. Wow. Because you have your boundaries, because you say, I need this time to do that, or this is not in alignment with where I'm going. And it's a wonderful thing to say no. And it actually feeds your power. So learn how to say no when it's appropriate, when it feels right for you. Okay? This is the year to express yourself for real. So all about the throat chakra and communication. It's also very much about traveling, doing new things, right? So if you've been doing a bunch of health protocols that have not been working for you, let's do something else, right? If you're approaching your business in a particular way that's not been really growing and expanding, do something different. Try new things, right? Travel somewhere you've never been before. Go out with people you've never been before. Explore, okay? So I think I've said a lot here. 2018, just to kind of review, it was so much about letting go, so much intensity, and really that intensity and that suffering, if we were focused with it, has really brought us to more enlightenment. I know that I went through a very difficult year last year with family tragedies and all sorts of things. And I really feel like the completion of that now, and just this deeper connection to myself, to my soul. And I mean, ultimately, I think that's what enlightenment is. You know, it's about feeling into that true place within yourself, in the unseen place. So the oneness, which is yoga, the soul and the human, finding balance between the soul and the human, and doing that dance, and really sort of like embracing all the parts of yourself. Okay? No more trying to hold on to what has not been working. We're letting that go. We're wrapping that up. So there's a few things that I want to inspire you to do today or tomorrow, but before the first. Create a vision board, however you want to do that. You know, I love to draw. My daughter has so many colored pencils, and we'll just sit and draw. And I got a beautiful journal for myself a couple of months ago, and I'm just like drawing my visions in there. Tonight we're going to cut up magazines, you know, do the good old traditional vision boards, which I think are always fun. You know, it's always fun to kind of see with the eyes, you know, what you're attracted to and what you want to create. Also, to kind of wrap up 2018, what did I learn in 2018? How have I grown? What are my victories? You know, and maybe a little bit about 2019, like who do I want to be? You know, because remember, it's always about being first, then doing, then having. Let's not get caught up in the doing. And actually, as women, we're much more effective when we slow down. Slow down, because in the slowing down, we're way more present to our intuition, to what needs to be done. And we see more clearly. So slowing down, enjoying sort of the minutiae of life, you know, washing the dishes, taking care of our children, taking care of our business, taking care of our dogs, and just like slowing down and letting life unfold, mindfulness, right? So going into 2019 softly, who do I want to be? What quality do I want to embody? So we did a whole little thing with some friends and community in Solstice, and we each had 3 words. And I was like, my 3 words were slow, steady, and graceful. So that's what 2019 is about for me. So maybe figure out your words. What are your 3 words? But really like ways of being. So moving slower and steady and with grace. Like there's no need to rush, because the whole world out there is trying to make us rush. Everything about social media, everything about being on the computer is about rushing and all of that kind of energy. So finding ways to slow down, even if it's just a cup of tea. There's a great teaching in Shakti school we talk about, which was given by Yogi Bhajan, which is a woman every 4 hours should take 11 minutes to reset her hormones. So you get Insight Timer, you set your timer every 4 hours. When that timer goes off, you stop everything you're doing. You do a pranayama, you do a shavasana, or you drink a cup of tea. We're doing nothing else. 11 minutes. Breathe deep, just be, and see what that does for your hormones, for anxiety, if you're feeling anxiety, and that kind of thing. Okay. That's good, I think. We are going to move on, and let's talk about this meditation. So what I want to inspire you is to do this meditation for the next 40 days. It's a meditation for the 5th chakra. So this meditation heals your throat chakra so that it can function optimally. These are the notes which I will post on the Facebook page. The hormonal balance that results from a balanced thyroid delivers a sense of well-being and a clear and bright face and grace. Actually, I'm going to give it to you right now for those of you who are in the chat box so you can look at it with me. It is said that if you do this meditation for 11 minutes daily for 18 months, your face will not age, and it will give you endurance, intuition, and reverse disease. I mean, that's some big claims right there. But you know what? I've done a lot of these meditations for many 40-day or more cycles, and I definitely testify that they work. And you just have to do them. I always say this, but it's just like the herbs. You know, if you go see a herbalist, it's like you got to do the herbs. You got to saturate your body with the herbs on a daily basis for the herbs to work. They work. You just have to take them consistently, right? And so it's the same with the meditations. You have to do them daily, consistently, right, for a period of time to really feel the effects and align with the energy of the meditation. So we're going to sit up straight. So get into your nice seated posture. And we're going to have a firm neck lock. So what is the neck lock? Let's talk a little bit about that. So usually your head is kind of, you know, leaning forward a little bit. Your chin is forward. So the neck lock is simply pushing the neck back so that you create a straight line at the back of the neck, right? So you're feeling kind of a tension here in the side muscles of the neck and kind of a little bit in the jaw as well, right? So you're kind of creating a little bit of a double chin effect. Very nice. We love that. Let go of the ego. And so, and then you're feeling straight. And so the arms are really going to help here. You're in Gyan Mudra and you just got straight arms resting on the knees. Okay. So you've got your firm neck lock and you're sitting in easy pose. The arms are straight, the hands are in Gyan Mudra, the wrists are resting on the knees, the palms are up, okay? The focus is at the tip of the nose with the eyes 1/10 open. This is going to create pressure at the brow point. This is fantastic. This is like one of the gems of yoga, especially Kundalini yoga, because what happens when you focus your eyes in this way is secretes pineal and pituitary gland, and it raises and opens up your intuitive center. Not only that, you're also dealing with your frontal lobe, which is the way that you control your personality. So that has so many functions. This gaze is really sort of like one of the diamonds of Kundalini yoga, which I highly recommend that you practice constantly. Okay, so the eye focus, and we're going to chant Hammi Hum Brahm Hum. But now the way that we chant it is the key here. We're chanting it with the root of the tongue, holding the firm neck lock. So it's kind of uncomfortable, it's kind of weird, but you just got to ride with it and go for it. So if you just focus on not using the tip of the tongue, you will naturally use the root of the tongue. Hummy hum, brum hum. It sounds kind of weird, but we're not trying to sound pretty. We're trying to activate and deal with this whole throat center. Okay? So firm neck lock, strong, straight hands, chanting with the back, the root of the tongue, looking at the tip of the nose with the eyes 1/10 open. And we're going to go for 11 minutes. You can do this for 22 minutes. And I'll play the track, and I will also list all of that onto the Facebook page. Okay, I think please let me know. Can you just give me a thumbs up that you can hear the music? Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll go for 11 minutes. Let's begin. Hammi hum Rama, 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 Hammi hum
Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma.
Use the root of the tongue, squeeze the chin back.
Tamiham Brahma, 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 Tamiham Brahma.
Look at the tip of the nose, 1/10 open.
Brahma, Tamiham 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 Brahma.
Feel the pressure that it creates in the neck, working on your throat chakra.
Tamiham Brahma, 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 Tamiham Tamiham Brahma, 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 Tamiham Brahma.
Focus deeply, tip of the nose.
Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Brahma, Tamiham Tamiham Brahma, Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama.
Feel the pressure around the neck as you push back the chin.
Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Rama Hamiham Hamiham Rama 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 Hamiham Rama.
Last 3 minutes. Stay with it.
Hamiham Rama 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 Hamiham
Inhale deeply.
Hold the breath. Focus the energy at the throat chakra. Exhale. Stay in position. Inhale deep. Push the chin back and feel that pressure in the throat chakra. Focus, go to your 0 point, sunya, silence. No thought. Exhale. Last time, inhale deep. Hold it. Squeeze. Be very still. And exhale. Beautiful. Okay, just relax for a moment. Take out your journals and just a few words about your experience. Stay in there. Just a few words about your experience. And this power of the throat chakra. Mm. Good. And just relax or keep going, whatever. You can always later get back into it and spend some time. This is a great day today and tomorrow to really kind of like, spend some quiet time with yourself to vision into 2019. And be bold, be creative, be loud with yourself. Don't put any kind of barriers. This is all about breaking through. I think we've been through enough intensity. Let's really rejoice sort of in the victories of this last year and what we've been through, and as a global consciousness, what we're evolving into. So, as one of the things that I'm deeply passionate about is empowering women, and simply sharing really what has healed and continues to heal me, and where I come from and my whole matriarchal lineage as I raise this young soul of a little girl and really think about her future and think how to help give her values, as my teacher says, and really the values of authenticity and grace and kindness and compassion and also fierceness and learning how to be, within herself and contained and content and all these things that, a lot of us didn't get growing up. So one of the things that we're very passionate about at Shakti School is training women, because that's really how we're looking at it. We're looking at it as a training, as training ourselves like we would go to a boot camp, to really, expand into this consciousness, come off the roller coaster of the emotions, connect with the meditative mind, connect with our own infinity, connect with our destiny and our legacy, because it's all resting on our shoulders. It really is. The woman is the nucleus. And as the Dalai Lama says, the world will be saved by the Western woman. And when he says the Western woman, for me, that includes all races, all demographics. It's really the modern woman. That's what he's talking about, the modern woman, because we're at the forefront of this, of this movement. So I want to share a little bit about, this opportunity to step into a 40-day practice with a support network, with a group that's beginning in just 5 days from now on January 4th. I want to tell you about the program so that you understand a little bit more about the work that we do at Shakti School, what's possible. It'll just take 5 minutes. Hang with me, and then I can answer any questions that you have. So let's begin, and I'll do a screen sharing so it can just be really simple and you can see. Can you see that? Just give me a heads up. Okay, great. So Shakti School is in session in 5 days, and one of the things that I've been doing, it's really where it all began. It began with a group of women. There were about 8, I think, to 10 of us 10 years ago. Literally, it was 2008, and we got in a circle, and I had a manual from one of my Kundalini yoga teachers, and I led a 6-week woman's course, and that was my first stab at it. And I was just kind of like testing it out because I wanted to do it. So I gathered these women together, and it was just the most magnificent thing that I had ever done. It was so healing. All of us got so much out of it. We got to share so much. We got to explore the woman's teachings. And so this is really an expansion of a decade of work that we've put in, and that we've studied, experienced, sat with senior teachers, master teachers who studied with Yogi Bhajan for 30 years and really sort of like, brought together. There's so many teachings for the women from Yogi Bhajan, in every course I try to bring a little something different. So this is Shakti School, which you can do as a live course in Topanga, California, or you can do it as an online course. So it begins on Thursday, but if you're doing it from your own home, you will get the materials on Friday of each week, and you will get the sadhana, you will get the lecture and the kriya every single week. So that's how it works. So you can have access for life for the teachings, and you can do them in your own time. Okay, so here are the full course details. The first circle, which will be January 3rd, January 4th, for if you're in your own home, we're looking at the foundation of a woman's power. This is all about woman awakened. Yogi Bhajan will talk about, just give you a little blurb on each. A woman doesn't need to be taught. She doesn't need to be healed. She needs to be awakened to her true power, which is really what Awakening Shakti, right? The last course that we did with Spirit Voyage is about. It's about awakening to the true power that you already are. You already are that. We just got to peel the layers off and get to the root of that power. How to develop a 40-day practice and keep up. Woman, the Adi Shakti, the primal power that she is, right? The importance of the throat chakra. So this is going to be a really big theme in our Shakti School 40-day journey together. We're going to be focusing on the throat chakra, how to speak in an empowered way, how to communicate your truth, how to say no, how to be quiet when you need to be quiet, how to speak gracefully, and we're going to work with the throat chakra energy. Then we'll go to the second week, and we're looking at the power of prayer, intuition. So, to really be whole within ourselves, we need to look at all the different aspects of ourselves. and the shadow and the darkness within ourselves is a very important part of really confronting who we are in our essence and getting to the root of our power, which is our Shakti. So there's many different facets that Yogi Bhajan would talk about as the hidden self. So woman and human beings, but here we're really focusing on women, have these different aspects of themselves and these different personalities, right? That we show. We show different people, different things, different parts of ourselves, right? Some of us use our sensuality and our sexuality to get what we want from the world. Some of us manipulate to get what we want. So this is about confronting all of that and finding that one true place within ourselves, that one being, that one power, which is us connecting to our divinity, us knowing the unknown within ourselves, and through the power of prayer, attracting what we want in our lives. Through the power of prayer, letting go of the things that we no longer need. Right? And so we bring in, of course, the fun aspects of ritual and turning depression into devotion and what that looks like when we're dealing with, some mental health stuff. So this is I love this particular circle too. It's really powerful, and we go deep right on week 2 because there's no time to waste. We got work to do, and it's the good work. Circle 3 is about understanding and healing the masculine. So there's so many things about our men that I think are really helpful to know as women. Super simple. So I kind of like break down the 10 things you need to know about your men. And they're very simple things. Like I'll give you one of them now. Yogi Bhajan says that men, you know how we feel a certain way and in a certain mood in our cycle time, right? So we've got these 3, maybe 5 to 7 days in the month where we really feel thrown off, where we feel not quite in our element. It could be called depression. It could be called PMS. When we really get to the root of it, it's actually that the veil between the conscious and the subconscious is so thin that we see everything. And then that can put a lot of pressure on the internal reality. But when we frame it in a new way, it starts to shift. So he says that men feel like that 30 days a month. That this mood and feeling that we're in, 5 to 7 days when we have our period, that's where men live. 30 days a month. It's kind of in what some people would call a depressed state, right? That's where they live. Okay, that's really important for us to know about our men and how we as women take them out of the linear and bring them into expansion and imagination beyond their sort of one-track thinking, because we as women with our 6-track mind, we travel the cosmos. We have the ability to see beyond the horizon, beyond what's in front of us, right? Men have a hard time doing that. So we inspire them in that way. So that's just a little bit about understanding and healing the masculine, and knowing also this quote that, we always use at Shakti School: when the women come back into their power, the men will line up and the violence will stop. So that is really the work that we are doing. We're doing the work within ourselves so that we can step up as these new thought, feminine leaders. And from a place of love, nurturing, grace, compassion, we can lead, we can lead our men. We can lead this world. Okay? So let's go to circle 4. This is about a woman's radiance and learning to live within her cycles. This is a super fun class. It's a lot about the yogic beauty rituals, how to go to sleep, how to wake up, some food stuff, kriyas and tools to beam brightly, learning about the glandular and nervous system and how to keep those balanced, and kriyas for that, and then some additional tools to turn depression into devotion, which has so much to do with these kriyas and with the glandular and nervous system balance, and of course gut health and all of that, which we dig into a little bit as well. On Circle 5, we do a beautiful circle where I bring in a few guest speakers and we ask Q&A, and these are women that are really established and successful, and I want to share them with you because they're very inspiring to me. So you'll get that if you come to the circle or if you're online. And then in Circle 6, we're focusing on prosperity, our vision for our life, our gifts, how to really create from our unique gifts, you know, create a legacy, create a business, what it is to use what we've been gifted and actually be out in the world sharing it. How to live pro-spirit, right? Prosperous doesn't just mean that you've got finances flowing in your life. It means good health. It means sound relationships. It means financial health. And it's always a work in progress. I feel like I'm constantly working on these different aspects. But it's a wonderful thing when you know what to do and you know how to work with these tools. Okay? So every participant will receive the 3 practice video to do the 40-day practice together. And you'll receive the bonuses, all the recordings for the classes, which are, you know, some incredible meditations and kriyas that you can refer to for a lifetime. You'll have a Facebook private online interactive discussion group and support. We'll have the special Q&A of the Women's Panel live in Topanga. And for the online participants only, we'll do a special session, week 3, which will be on January 18th, and it'll be a live class with the online group, because on week 3, I take the live group, the Topanga women, we go on a nature class, and we go deep into nature, and we do a labyrinth walk and all kinds of things like that. So this is my week to be with you for those who are participating online. Okay, so that's the program, and let's get down just to the nuts and bolts of it. Payment wise, if you're coming to do it in person, it's either one payment of $597 for the 6-week course, or you can do a payment plan and do 3 payments of $199. There'll also be an an opportunity to experience a sweat lodge with medicine women in sort of the Chatsworth area, but it's near Topanga. And I've been sweating with her for about 10 years, bringing my women to her for a number of years. And it's always an incredible experience for those who can join live. If you're online, it's a one-time payment of $297, or you can make 3 payments of $99. You'll receive all the lectures, kriyas, and meditations as recordings to keep for life. So that is it, my dear hearts. And I am really excited about sharing this with you. It is, it's my heart and soul, you know, I just love it so much. And I feel like when we come together, we slow down. And it's such an opportunity to just do some work on ourselves. You know, just to gather, whether we're gathering online or we're gathering in Topanga, is just a great opportunity to come together and do some work, slow down, learn these tools. I think that some of these are the most powerful tools that I've discovered when it comes to women's teachings. I haven't quite landed on anything else that has this kind of caliber and grit, and it just cuts through the egos. It cuts through the neurosis, you know, the neurosis that we deal with women, and we're all dealing with it. I don't know one woman which doesn't deal with some kind of neurosis, you know, but these are tools to deal with that. And then when you have the tools, it's just about using them. And the more you slow down and really learn how to connect to your infinity, the more powerful, the more powerful creator, creatress you become, because you start to align. And it's about aligning, relaxing, and attracting. Being, doing, having, rather than doing, thinking that doing is gonna bring it. And then we get burnt out and we get exhausted. Let's slow down, let's relax, let's attract, let's align, and let's be together. Because when we together, I know that for me, every time I do one of these, whether I lead them or I sit in a circle, I heal. So this is really an opportunity for us to do that. So if you feel the call, please come. If you don't feel the call, no worries, and there'll be plenty more to join. And I hope to just stay in communication with you and keep serving you in any way that I can, and sharing with you ultimately what's worked for me, and what's worked for many women who have participated in Shakti School. So I am going to stop the recording now. So Sat Nam to everybody who joined us. And for those